Hello, Vincent and Charles. This message is going to be multiple questions, but can you talk a bit about the history of the Jesuits, such as what made them successful, why they were suppressed in the 1700s, and what the heck happened to them in the last century? For example, why were Aquinas and Suarez abandoned and replaced by Ronner and Teilhard de Chardin? Why did their focus shift from spiritual warfare to social justice and political activism, generally speaking?
Well, there's a book which, although it has certain glaring errors, is worth your time in reading, called The Jesuits by the late lamented Father Malachi Martin,
Famous
which
book.
provides a very famous book and provides a good introduction as to why they went the way they did. Why were they so successful? Well, three words: Saint Ignatius Loyola. He was a soldier, and he really imprinted his personality on the order he founded. And their ideal was that every Jesuit would be able to evangelize and create more Catholics, even if he were all by himself in total isolation. And that often happened to them. They were terribly well trained. The educational system was without par until they began to dismantle it in the late 50s. They were loyal to the Pope and to no earthly sovereign. And so that, to the late 18th century, the enmity of a lot of the Catholic sovereigns of Europe, who firstly, one by one, expelled them from their various domains, which was not a smart idea for a number of reasons. And then finally, they prevailed upon Pope Clement XIV to suppress them entirely. Interestingly, however, the order survived in Russia and Prussia, because the Orthodox and Lutheran sovereigns of those countries refused to publish the papal decree. And it was through the order in those two countries that they maintained their lineage to the present. Then they were reestablished by Pius VII after the Napoleonic Wars. As to why they fell to pieces, well, two words: Pedro Orupe.
Who is that?
The general of the Jesuits for most of the late 60s, early 70s. And he was responsible for transforming them. I mean, they'd already had their problems, but he really pushed it through. He was the great lover of Ronner and Teilhard. He was the one who put the finishing touches on the ruin of their educational system. Now, he had a very interesting story, and the interesting story was that he had been in Japan when the atom bomb was dropped, and he saw it dropped. And it really messed him up.
Wow.
Really messed him up. So he retooled the order with the help of a lot of other people from the spiritual warfare to fighting earthly. And that
To fighting earthly what?
injustice. And that basically, a lot of them becoming sort of pseudo-communists. So that's that.
Okay. So I guess the Aquinas and Suarez were abandoned. So were they abandoned in the 60s? Is that when the switch took place, or was it before then? Okay.
They always had problem children, of whom Ronner and Teilhard were at the top before the council. But and even in 1958, for instance, Ronner was in charge of editing the last edition of Denzinger, the great compendium of Catholic dogma.
I didn't need to know that. That's one of those things that's so... I can't believe that.
Well,
why did Denzinger allow that?
Well, Denzinger was dead. It was allowed by the Holy See.
That's unbelievable.
However, what you probably don't know is that both Ronner and Teilhard manned anti-aircraft guns during the Battle of Los Angeles.
No, okay, April Fools, Charles. No way. No way.
That was the beginning of that famous song, Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition.
Oh no! What
Yes,
the?
they were singing it while they were firing away at the flying saucers over L.A. You had Ronner firing until R was feeding the shells into the gun.
What an image!
Yeah, I think so. You've got the aliens firing their phasers, whatever it is, at the city. You got these two guys at the guns, each of them with those sort of World War I style American helmets, that the National Guard would have had, and they're firing away. Talar feeding the bullets into the machine gun. Yep. That's how it happened.
Okay. You're not going to break me. This isn't going to be Churchill Part 2. Okay.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Praise the Lord and swing into position. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, and we'll all stay free. Yep.
Okay. Time for our book. Saved by the Bell.
You came close.